What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Samurai X20 here.
Yo, what are you saying, Sam?
Milano, what are you doing in my studio?
Oh, you're recording?
Yeah, I'm recording, bro.
You're...
What's up? Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm on a.
my Vanquish soul deck?
You want to see what?
My Vanquish soul deck? I just got second place at Toronto.
I was about to. I was just about to record a Dark Magician deck profile.
Bro, screw your Dark Magician deck profile. Vanquish Soul is the only deck you need. Vanquish Soul, guys, Vanquish Soul is the craziest deck ever. It's the only deck you need, believe me.
All right, bro. You want that us?
Get up. Yeah, get out.
Where's your deck?
That's right over here. I'll have it on me.
Oh, okay.
All right, don't worry. Welcome to a brand new video on the TSX1 channel, guys. Today, Sam asked me to come show you guys my second place Vanquish Soul Toronto deck profile. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to try to get a little in depth so some of you newer players can pick up the deck and try it for yourselves. I think it's such a fun deck, and if you guys enjoy fighting games or the style of that, the archetype absolutely reflects that in the gameplay itself. I have such a great time playing this deck, so let's jump right into it. And before you guys ask, I use the Supreme Pros, of course, before the event. These are my favorite sleeves right now, and I would advise you guys to get your own. These sleeves absolutely rock, and they've been my favorite, my go-to. So I'm absolutely thankful that Sam gave me my own code, Milano10. Be sure to go on the TSX1 website and check out the sleeves for yourself. At least give them a try. I think you'll really enjoy them. And if you guys want to check me out, be sure to search me up on YouTube, Milano the Duelist. I make Yu-Gi-Oh! Skip videos. We have a whole lot of fun on my channel too, so be sure to check that out. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Duelist. All right, so let's get right into the deck profile. First things first, of course, you got to play the triple Razin. This is like the Stratos of the deck. It lets you search for any non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster. He's very important to get you to the rest of your engine, because the way that this deck plays is it tries to get to you all your attributes so that you're able to reveal attributes for their secondary abilities. The main secondary ability of Razin is that by revealing a Fire and Dark, you get to destroy all monsters in this card's column, which is very relevant for when you're going second, and he will acquire you the missing attributes that you're missing. So Razin is absolutely mandatory. And then the other fire we play is the one Pluton. You do need the Pluton in the deck to be able to search a fire off the Razin, so that you're able to actually trigger his secondary ability to destroy all monsters in the column. Having it there to be able to search it gives you options to search your attributes when you need to, but also Pluton's a good card to keep you alive in the game. He has a good defensive effect to gain defense points, and it keeps you alive for sure. All right, and then of course you got to play the triple Mad Love. Mad Love is the spell and trap searcher on normal summon or special summon. Also one of starting with the dark Vanquish Soul monsters. So Mad Love is important to be able to have more normal summons because the deck lacks enough monsters. Mad Love isn't too bad because it can still search a powerful Book of Eclipse card or a Monster Reborn card that lets you keep your engine going, and it'll get you into your next plays with, like, if you have Borgir in hand or if you have Caesar Valius, and getting a monster on the field is the #1 important thing, so you got to run the triple Mad Love. And of course the big dark monster, Borgir. Heavy Borgir is very important in the deck. The whole deck pretty much relies on its early game based on Borgir because of his main effect to reveal a dark monster during either player's turn, to quick effect draw one card, which is quite good. You can do it on your turn, your opponent's turn. This deck does play Prosperity, so you don't want to try to accidentally let it conflict with your Prosperity, but being able to summon Borgir for free by returning one of your Vanquish Soul monsters to your hand and then having a draw during each turn of the game is absolutely crazy. Also, Borgir has a secondary effect where you get to reveal an Earth and Fire and inflict 1500 points of damage to your opponent. And when you're going for game, you could even do that during your end phase and then your opponent's draw phase. So you're able to inflict 3000 damage without even declaring an attack. It'll just wrap up the game. But until then, you want to make sure to just keep drawing until you're able to successfully win the resource game, and that's when you start playing for game. It is actually just like, even though the deck is designed by a fighting game, you do have to play a neutral game, and then when you find an opening, that's when you go for your combos. I play the one of Panthera. It's important that this card is in the deck at all because having access to the searchable Earth, this card has a spell trap removal effect. It's also an extender if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, so it'll let you get into your rank 4 plays, and also it's just a good extender to make sure you're able to successfully summon Borgir or Caesar. And then of course I play the 2 Caesar Valius. Caesar Valius is the boss monster of the deck. He has the same summoning condition as Borgir. You bounce a Vanquish Soul monster that isn't themselves to special summon them, and then they have the 2 reveal effects. Caesar can make himself unaffected just by revealing an Earth, which is actually really good, especially when you're playing against decks like Kashtira, where they have a harder time dealing with this unaffected beat stick that's 3000 attack, unless they like crash or rise hard or something. Popping cards on the field with Caesar is going to be your mid to late game win condition. He's going to be able to simplify the game state, clear up the board, and attack for game. And that's all the Vanquish Soul monsters we play. Then I play triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's particularly good in this deck because it's a fire monster, and you do want more attribute monsters that follow the attributes of your Vanquish Soul monsters, so you're able to resolve the effects that require you to reveal a lot easier. I played the triple Droll and Lockbird. Even though it doesn't follow the attribute conditions of our guys, Droll and Lockbird is a very good card to keep you alive against many combo decks. And even though there are many like slower tempo decks that Droll and Lockbird doesn't really affect very much, you're mainly trying to stop the super fast combo decks from absolutely destroying you with their combo. You want to kind of put them at the pace of your deck and make them play your game. And for that reason, I also played the triple Nibiru. Nibiru is particularly important in this deck because it helps you stay alive and see the next turns. This deck is more of a grindy control deck, so you want to live as many turns as possible, and as you live longer, your resources will become more plentiful. The harvest will be very, very plentiful. Then I'll play the double Dogoran. Dogoran is just a kaiju in the main deck to out stuff like a Rise Heart, like Pirelli Noir, a lot of hard to defeat cards, while also being a fire reveal for Stake Your Soul, because fire reveals, I would say, is the most important reveal on turn 1, just so your Razin is able to pop and your Stake Your Soul is able to search your Razin. And then for spell cards, I play the triple Stake Your Soul. Stake Your Soul is one of the most important cards of the deck because not only is it an extender, but it's a card that you use to get to the rest of your attributes. So if you lack a Razin, you could reveal an Ash, a Dogoran, or Pluton, and you get to your Razin. You can get to your Borgir, you can get to your Mad Love. It just gives you access to the rest of your engine, and that's what makes Stake Your Soul absolutely mandatory at 3. It's also one of my favorite cards to resolve because every time it resolves, we are robbing our opponent's nostrils. Then I play the double Vanquish Soul Continue and the one Vanquish Soul Dust Devil. These are our search targets off of Mad Love. Continue is like a Monster Reborn or Add Back, and Dust Devil is like a Book of Eclipse card, so it's good interruption turn 1. Whereas Continue, even though you can use it as an interruption based on your hand, it's usually going to be a follow-up card or help you get into your rank 4 place. And I play the one Reinforcements of the Army just to get to the Razin, as he's like the main guy you need to see. He searches for the rest of your monsters, and as long as you get away to Razin, eventually you'll be able to add him back, summon him back off the rock, and just be able to recur your resources. That's why Razin is like the main guy of the whole deck. You got triple Pot of Prosperity. Just for consistency purposes, you need to see your Razin as frequently as possible, but this card is also just fantastic. Gets you to your Floodgate going first. You get your utility cards, your engine, and Prosperity just overperforms every single time. So in this deck, I think it's mandatory because you do need to search for Razin as like the main target for this card. But if you already have access to your Razin, it just gives you anything to pick from. And then for trap cards, I play the triple Impermanence. This is the last hand trap that we play. Impermanence is one of those versatile hand traps. Even though it's still not a reveal, I like saving Imperm for my turn against Kashtira, so I'm able to stop the Arise Heart. Imperm has a lot of applications when you draw it as a 6th card, and overall, it's the best monster negation hand trap while not needing to play into Thrust or Talons. So for that reason, I think Imperm's been pretty good for me. And then I played the triple There Can Be Only One. There Can Be Only One is extremely broken because this card says you can only control one type of monster, and many archetypes follow around the same type. Like Sword Soul can only control worms, Rikas can only control plants, and once you flip this card against certain decks that are usually following an archetype, it's extremely hard for them to come back because many decks don't main deck answers to this, and There Can Be Only One is one of those floodgate cards that just outright wins the game in certain matchups. And then for the extra deck, I play the triple Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock is the main card of the whole deck. What he does is he forces your opponent to attack the highest attack monster while you control Vanquish Soul. So if you have like a little annoying small guys who have interruptions, they still gotta attack your Caesar Valioso, bro. He's 3000. Rock also has 2 other effects where once per turn you can either special summon a Vanquish Soul or add back a Vanquish Soul, and he's like pretty much your resource and interruption game. He lets you summon Razin in your opponent's columns, so you're able to Razin pop on resolution. you're able to add back your resources, so you're able to play next turn. Rock is the absolute heart and soul of the deck. You must play this card at 3, and he absolutely puts in the work. And then for the link monsters, I play Security Dragon. Security Dragon, you can summon it underneath Rock to once per turn bounce 1 monster on the field to the hand. It lets you get rid of stuff like Mirror Jade, gets rid of stuff like that's hard to defeat, while not needing to activate its effect, with no cost as well. All it needs to be is co-linked with your Rock, and then you just bounce back something. And I play the Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix is required to out the back row cards, like all the spells and traps. And summoning it under Rock will also give you the free bonus draw. Sometimes you just need to link off what you have on board, force out a couple interruptions, and then just go all out. I play the Nightmare Unicorn so that you could also link climb with the Phoenix. So you go Phoenix, Unicorn. You could even drop a Cerberus in there if you want, just to kind of get some value with your link monsters, get some draws, remove the field. And then I play the Access Code Talker, of course, because he's my link 4-win condition. So if I'm not able to actually access my engine as effectively, I'm always able to fall back on access code with my link monster lineup to be able to clear the board and maybe go for game. And then for Xyz monsters, I play a Zodiac Chakanine and a Zodiac Borbo. So the purpose of these cards are to be able to make a rank 4 that requires 2 level 4s and immediately overlaying Borbo on top of Chakanine. Borbo's effect says you could just summon it using a Zodiac and he can actually attack directly. So the reason why you want to do that, even though he becomes 0 attack, is so you're able to Zeus your opponent. Zeus is a very important board breaker in this deck, and giving you 2, when you overlay a Chakanine and a Borbo, you'll be able to have 4 materials, so you'll be able to use Zeus's effect twice if required. And Zeus is just so important for clearing the board. It's such a good fallback option when you only have a rank 4 left over. You could clear your opponent's whole board and still have a whole board wipe interruption. Then I play the Abyss Dweller, which is good for the graveyard decks, of course. Exciton Knight, who's Zeus's cousin. He lets you do generally what Zeus does, but it's a quick effect, so you're able to play around certain things. I play the Baguska because Baguska's a insane rank 4 against decks like Branded, against decks like even like Kishtira that have a hard time, that don't really use link monsters. So you're able to shut them down with Baguska until you're able to get your engine going. And then the last card I played was Castel, because out of all my rank 4s, I don't really have any spot removal card. And Castel is a absolute great spot removal card to be able to shuffle into the deck or even book something. That doesn't really ever come up to book something, but you know what? It is certainly an option. And then for my side deck, I played the double Cosmic Cyclone and the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. These are my main back row answers, playing first and second. These cards are just very staple, very easy to resolve. They don't have much activation requirements, so that's why these ones are very easy to use in any deck. Then I play the double Lightning Storm, which is, I use it against back row decks going second, but also certain strategies that set up a lot of back rows as they play, sort of like Branded, to be able to wipe their whole back row before we start playing. And for that reason, I also play the triple Evenly Matched in the side deck. Evenly Matched, clear the board, very powerful card. A lot of people don't expect board breakers like this when you play a hand trap deck, so they're not really prepared to answer an Evenly Matched. And then I play the triple Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion because this deck has a bit of a hard matchup against the Branded decks, against the Labyrinth decks, against Math Mech decks. So this card will give you an easy answer to a lot of their powerful interruptions, like kind of like Super Factorial, Branded in Red, and Big Welcome Labyrinth, of course. And then I play the double Retaliating Sea. This card is just super good in this deck because it's just another Earth hand trap that you're able to get the reveals off of, but being able to summon it when your opponent uses a runic card to special summon or a Pirelli spell card just gives you so much advantage because this guy is literally macro Cosmos on the field. Banish everything, and it stops a lot of strategies. And then for last, I played the 2 Radiant in my side deck. I would have preferred to play Kurikara Divine Incarnate, but unfortunately I didn't have him. But Radiant as a kaiju just gets the job done, you know, just side into more kaijus, be able to answer the big monsters, and use the rest of your engine to be able to play.